Talk shoes.
So that's our recording that's going on now. So I'm based in Chicago, Illinois. I'm a professional speaker specializing in business dynamics and professional and personal development. I also chair 2 executive think tanks, or you might call them peer advisory boards, with Vistage International, which is the world's largest executive organization. And I'm a life architect, helping people design their lives and businesses through a coaching model. And additionally, I run speaker schools several times a year. I had the pleasure of meeting our guest today when I was speaking up in Winnipeg, and by Jamie, who's on the call, told Todd about me, and then Todd came to Chicago for my speaker school, and now we work together in a coaching relationship, and I'm just so thrilled by what I've learned about Todd and his background that I wanted to share it with the world, and so I've invited him to be my guest today on Conversations with Mikki. Todd, welcome.
Thank you, Mikki. I'm glad to be here.
Thanks. I'd like to tell all the people listening in just a little bit of the background and why I was so inspired to have you on the call. Todd Miller is from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, one of my favorite places in the world. It's beautiful. And he's president of his own company called RT Miller Holdings, Inc., and they specialize in small and medium-sized businesses, recreational property development, and professional speaking. And Todd speaks on a wide range of business topics with inspirational messages. He's Canadian, so obviously he's a hockey fan. And how do you feel about our Blackhawks?
Well, I'm pretty excited with the Blackhawks, as you know, Mikki, so go Hawks, go.
Thanks. Besides being a hockey fan, I know he's also a scuba diver and a skydiver and all kinds of other things. He's just not a boring guy, and that's why I love him. And today, one of the things that absolutely inspired me, as all the other people who met Todd when he was here, Todd was formerly involved with one of the most successful private equity transactions in the history of Bain Capital, which meant he was instrumentally involved with the acquisition of Canadian Yellow Pages for $1.9 billion. Yes, I said billion. And in less than a year, sold off the assets for $2.6 billion. Now, that's an incredible accomplishment and a direct testament to Todd, as he would say, assembling the right team, providing leadership, and creating a rewarding environment. So I wanted to have Todd on the call today because I wanted to ask him about leadership, being he was part of this success and all the other business success he's had, 20 years in various senior executive and management positions across oil, gas, telecommunications, advertising. He's kind of done it all, and through that been very, very successful. And I'm sure all of us today are excited, as I am, Todd, to hear about leadership and the success that you've had over the years. So let's get started. Is that okay, Todd?
Oh, it sounds great, Mikki.
All right, why don't you just tell us or give us a little background first about the multi-billion-dollar transaction. Oh, I love saying that. Can I say that again? About the multi-billion-dollar transaction.
Well, it sounds as good as it was, quite frankly. It was a pretty exciting time for a lot of us, and just to give you a little bit of the backdrop, at the time, the Yellow Pages Group, or Yellow Pages Canada, that is, and we were known as Super Pages initially throughout Western Canada, and as we expanded across the East, we were quite the little organization, and at one point we were taken over by Verizon out of the States, and after about 3 years, a very successful 3 years, Verizon decided to sell off the assets of Canadian Yellow Pages and put it to an auction process. And inside of that, Bain Capital was the successful bidder, if you will, and they bought the organization for $1.9 billion. And that was just a huge transaction for Bain, in that particular period of time they invested $500 million of their own money, and then we went on the road show. And of course, at the time, I was president of the organization and was kind of the lead generator of the road show to go off and raise the balance of the equity that was required to take over this organization. So we went on the road show, and inside of 10 days, 45 different presentations in 38 different cities, we were oversubscribed to the tune of $4 billion. So suffice it to say, at the end of the day, we were able to acquire the company and purchased it for $1.9 billion. And that's the beginning of the story. And quite frankly, that story was intended to be, about a 7-year play. We were going to do lots of improvements in the company and see the company enjoy even better success over that period of time. And then ultimately, we were going to sell it off in the public markets. That was the plan. But thanks to an awful lot of hard work by just a tremendous executive team, that I was surrounded by, and guys that were just enabled. They were given the opportunity to go off and do things on their own, and we made some significant changes in a very short period of time, and suddenly made the company even that more appealing to others. And of course, shortly thereafter, inside of 7 months, as a matter of fact, a bidder came along to us and said, "We'd like to buy you." Now, at the time, we thought that was not going to be possible because, quite frankly, the company was just acquired and we were on our path of our own success story. But at the end of the day, I guess everything in life is for sale. And the organization, the Yellow Pages Group out of Montreal, successfully secured the rights to Super Pages, or advertising directory services or solutions, for $2.6 billion 7 months after the initial transaction.